Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop series. So, there's an air hose running into my basement with a storm door that needs to be redone, where there's a compressor. So that means there's air tools going on, which is great because that means there's framing. So let's go take a look at what we got going on. Alright, so last video really ended with the concrete, which is freaking awesome. When we were discussing framing, you'll see when we get in there, but there's about 1.5 inch gap between the framing that we're going to be doing and basically the exterior of the barn, right? So since there's possibly going to be maybe some critters or some bugs or whatever that could get into that gap, what we did, oh, there you go, zip sheathing, lumber, more lumber, zip sheathing. And you can see we actually went, original videos I had in here that we were going to be doing some curb here. Technically not the case. What we're actually going to do is eventually just excavate this so it's lower excavate this out so it's lower than the actual floor, so that the water drainage will just filter down across. Anyway, it's a little dark in here now because on all of the boards to the exterior, my father and I covered with this felt paper. So this is number 30 felt tar paper, usually used for roofing. You can get this stuff at Home Depot. This is the 4th roll. It took 4 rolls. Well, it took 3 1/4 rolls to cover the entire walls that are technically the exterior. I didn't have to do this because that's steel. But everywhere else you can see back there. And now with the framing, what we're kind of doing. It was might have been a little hard to understand, I guess, but so this is the exterior of the barn, then it's the felt paper, and then this is the zip sheathing on the outside for weatherproofing, and then we're reframing the entire building. Wow. So today they got done that wall, which is that wall is the sliding barn door that I'm closing off and I will not be able to use, which I think is okay because we're putting a garage door here and I don't need 2 doors to open. I just can't foresee me using it this time. I can't foresee me using it. Plus, to keep everything as weather tight and once I insulate as possible, I think this is the best solution. So we're building a box inside of the already existing box. I went right over the windows, so they're gonna cut those windows out with the paper and then frame out the windows that are coming. Here's the other wall that they did today. Looking good. I mean, it's like night and day what this building was and what it's turning into. So I'm super psyched. Even just the floor made such a huge difference. They trimmed off that conduit, those caps. So if I do decide to run electric through the floor, it's there. So that spot worries me a little bit. So two things. They dug out the floor. Because that was all on the ground, this barn porch, this door. This is another door. These are just plywood though. They're not like that, whatever, 3/4 inch pine that's on the exterior. These doors are just plywood that I covered. But this big gap, so when they raised it, that was some, and then the floor sunk a little bit further. What's that? 6 inches. And these doors just rotted away. The plywood just rotted away. So I'm gonna have to talk to them about what we're doing there. I mean, once it's framed out, there'll just be a gap there, but, well, a gap from the plywood to the internal framing. But I have some other plans for the exterior of the building that is not happening right now, but that will eventually happen. So anyway, here we are, day 1 of framing. Ooh, what are they using? This is a Tachi framing nailer. There's another one over here. I'm always curious about the tools. Got some tape for the zip sheathing. Super framer. I don't know the brand, unless that is the brand. But it seems like they're really rocking the Tachi, so yeah. Those corners are difficult, but they happened. Yeah. I mean, it's completely, again, changing the look, at least interior of the barn. My neighbors across the street were so happy when they're like, oh, what are you guys doing? We're so happy because the building hasn't been touched. Yeah, it's gonna look exactly the same from the outside. The inside will look awesome. The outside's gonna look exactly the same. So there's that, at least for the time being. But you can see, these are those doors that we saw on the inside. The plywood just rotted away. I mean, it was just sitting on the ground. I mean, painted, I mean. So, yeah. I had some cool ideas for the outside, just not in the budget right now. So, yeah, framing started, day 1. So this is day 4 of framing. So that's the door on the, I don't know, opposite side of where you would enter. So it's completely framed off. You can even see just how wonky that is. Even just the doorway itself is super wonky. And you can see the asphalt paper that covered the window, that'll get cut out and we'll put in new windows. The new windows are bigger, so they're gonna have to cut out a little bit of the building. Let's check this out. So that door will eventually just close. And then I can just lock it, so that'll cover that portion of the zip sheathing. This portion, I didn't even think about this, but this portion is going to be exposed for the time being until I do something with the outside of the building. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to think about that. I mean, it technically could just stay exposed until I, paint and either reside or whatever for the exterior of the building, but that's gonna be like that for a while. But they did frame out the garage door, so I'm waiting for that to arrive. We can install that, and then it's a little dark in here. Obviously I don't have electricity yet, but it looks actually really good on the camera. Here is the interior of the building all framed out. It's pretty awesome. So this wall that we're looking at is that wall that had those 2 doors that all the rot and whatever, and we'll take a look at them on the outside, but we built a box inside of the existing building, and the box is square and plumb, so that's positive. Here's that firewall, which is part of the carport. I'm gonna try and keep this, or am keeping this kind of vaulted ceiling. Just found out today that there's just nail holes randomly. I don't know if you can see it. You might be able to see a little bit there. So we might need to address that portion of the roof, but I need to have further conversations there. Yeah, here's some window framing. It's getting a little dark, I apologize. Frame up the man door. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I wasn't positive if I wanted to keep these beams exposed, but after talking to our contractor, I think it's a cool move. I think it looks good. It keeps some of the original character, I think, in the building. So we're gonna keep those. As far as the interior walls, so my plan, I think, is to just do OSB. A lot of people don't like the look of OSB. I actually think it looks pretty good. And then the rest of what I have planned for the overall look of the shop, I think it'll tie in nicely. What we're doing is, so on the bottom, we're gonna have a full sheet going horizontal. So it'll be up about 48 inches. And then it'll be about an 8-inch sort of sheet that runs right here, and we'll run the electric through there. So if I ever need to get directly to the electric, I could just pull off that panel. I don't have to pull off the whole panel of the wall, but everything is just going to be screwed in. So if I did need to pull off certain panels or certain areas, if I wanted to, I still don't understand. I still don't know what I'm doing for heating yet. So we'll have access to that, and we'll just be nailed shut. There's that corner. It's pretty sexy. All right, let's go outside real quick. I'll show you how that kind of closed off that area with the door that was rotted. So, there's the door. So this door, both of these doors, slide that way. But yeah, that's completely closed off, which is great. And then we just need to obviously address the outside of the building, which we will eventually. That door right there is the door in the that door right there is the door the opposite side of the man door. So that'll just go back up, close that off. We won't use that. And then that will be the main door entrance, or the main entrance to the shop. Yeah. Framing's looking good. It's just a quick little segue. That light, actually, we pulled out of the barn. Put it up last week or something. It's pretty cool. It's, you've seen a bunch of these, kind of in, I guess, trending or whatever now. But, it's kind of cool. It's green. I don't know if you can see from there. It has a mark on it. It says Wheeler. I don't know anything about it. If anybody does, shoot something in the comments. Hey, Loose. All right, let's wrap up framing and post a video. So I thought about this a little bit more, and I have a lot of the outside. I have a lot of the outside wood or whatever from tearing down this interior wall right here that used to be here. So I think that's what I'm gonna use. My plan is to actually cut up 3 feet and put some wainscoting and some sheet steel, but that's not for a little while. So I'll cover this, or maybe I'll just paint it. I don't know. For the time being, it's not anything urgent. But guys will be back tomorrow. I have to talk to them about electric, But yeah, just one more quick look. It's a lot nicer now that it's a little lighter. Once the window's in here, it'll force some additional light in here. I left those columns. I don't know if I said this prior, but I just think they look freaking cool. That light that I showed in the beginning was like right here-ish. Obviously not where the beam was, but yeah. So, some of the guys' tools. Some of the conduit that's running under the floor. I mean, it's just a nice feeling being in here right now. This smelled like squirrel piss and had walnuts and acorn. It was just a disaster, and this has come light years, and I'm so excited. And I think they're doing a really, really great job. Not cheap, but you know, good work ain't cheap. So, all right, guys. Again, if you haven't subscribed and you're interested in what I'm showing you guys, or future build videos and about Basemeant Works, please feel free. Hit that subscribe button, the bell, it'll let you know when I post some new videos. And we're getting to the end of the line, so hopefully you tired, Luce? Tired? Yeah. Hopefully we can get into some building. All right, guys, take it easy.